All right, all right. Well, folks, welcome to another IMT streaming concert. That's streaming, ST, not screaming. That was Dave Manley sort of doing a prelude, bringing us in. And he's going to be our first performer. But while everybody's on screen, Elena, if you would wave to everybody.
Hey,
There you
everybody.
go. And Sassafras and Pepper. That's, let's see. Sassafras is, let's see, how would I describe it? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
The
And,
quiet one.
right.
Quiet,
I'm
quiet.
with Sassafras.
Yes, there you go. Well put. So
Need to get a T-shirt.
this should be a wonderful evening. We're going to get a little bit of different genres of music, which is part of the goal here. It's not same old, and it's okay. Let's start by focusing right in on Dave Manley. Dave, I went to your website to get some background information, and I noticed the website is down. So
Yeah.
We'll
so,
just be-
my server, the host, is having an internal issue, and because of COVID-19 and them furloughing people,
aha,
they haven't gotten back to me on what the issue is because the bill's been paid. So,
right. So we'll just freelance it. I mean,
Okay.
usually I see you running into the shop, the House of Musical Traditions, and you're on your way to a gig,
Always.
and we start to talk, and then you start looking at your watch, and you're going, "Hey, wait, I gotta go," and I say, sometime we gotta feature your music, and we were going to do some jams up in Rockville at the School of Musical Traditions, and you got kind of too busy, and we couldn't really get the scheduling right, and then this pandemic came in.
That's right. Yeah.
But we didn't give up, so we're gonna work this out tonight. What I know about you is that you're a sought after jazz guitarist. You go zipping around the country. One day you're in Philly, the next weekend you're down in Florida somewhere. But you do an awful lot of stuff in the Washington D.C. area, both solo gigs and then kind of putting together bands, or bands call you and say, "Hey, we need a guitar. Can you learn these parts by 3 o'clock?"
Pretty much.
So.
I mean, it's a
uh,
little bit of everything. I play actually. I grew up in Detroit, so the motto was "Jazz is the teacher, funk is the preacher." So I play
Excellent.
equal amounts of R&B and soul and rock, and I backed up singer-songwriters. I toured. I did some shows with this. She was well known for a while. This singer Anna Nalick. She had that song "Breathe" 2 a.m. It's like from the early 2000s. So everything from that to Jill Scott, and
Yeah.
you know, did a lot of writing and production work out of Jazzy Jeff, the DJ studios.
Yeah.
So we worked with everybody from Jewel to Herbie Hancock. So that was kind of.
All right. Well, take us away. Give us something. What are we going to start with?
All right, so I'm going to start with a Chick Corea tune called Windows, and I'm just going to set it up here.
Yep, yep. Man, it's your left hand looks like a giant tarantula crawling up and down the fingerboard. I want to remind people that are out there, and some of you are doing it already, so thank you very much, which is share. Hit your share buttons, send it out to your friends. This whole concept of streaming, when you first hear about an event coming up, you go, "Oh, that sounds good. I'll have to do that," and then because our whole sense of time, at least mine is, it's all distorted. I wake up, I don't know what time it is. I go to sleep, I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
And this is, everything's blurring. So it's really important. And then, of course, support your artists. You see all of Dave's ways you can unload some cash and send it to them. These are the gigs that musicians have these days. There's not too many live gigs around, and the ones that are around may not be the safest environments. So
Right.
we're
It's
practicing.
definitely strange to play for a computer screen.
Yeah, yeah, we're out here. We're out here, we're flashing at you, so to speak. What's next? What do you got next?
So next is a composition I wrote a long time ago, actually. It started, sometimes you'll set out to write one song, you have this idea in your mind, and by the end of the day, or however long you're writing it, in this case, it took me literally just like 2 hours to write it. The song had completely changed. So this tune is called Way Out West, and it starts kind of with a rubato.
Way Out West.
Sorry, I had to take the headphones off.
Yeah, so I was saying it's called Way Out West. That which gives me which raises the question. So you said you grew up in Detroit,
Yep.
and how many years? I mean, before you, let's say, left Detroit.
I went to Los Angeles a couple years after high school. Well, right after high school, I went to like a local community college, and I was lucky enough that the person that was running the program was a former student of Alvin Baptiste, the masterful clarinetist. His name was Dr. Morris Lawrence, and he's from New Orleans, and
Yeah.
he got his doctorate at the University of Michigan, so he decided to stay and open stay and teach in Michigan, and he raised his family there. So after high school, I played with this Afro musicology big band. That's kind of how I learned to read music. I bought a book. I bought a Tommy Tedesco book for guitar players only, and I learned how to read music out of that. And then I got my skill together by playing with this group, and we actually played Carnegie Hall.
Huh.
And, so then I moved to Los Angeles to chase my rock and roll dreams to play in metal bands on the Sunset Strip.
Wow.
And when
Wow.
that didn't work out, I moved to Philadelphia.
And yet now you're in Tacoma Park.
Well, yeah, I left Philadelphia and I went to Austin, Texas for a while. I was working and touring with the artists that lived there, and then I went to Nashville for a while to do some work there for about a year. And then my wife is from Tacoma Park, grew up in Tacoma Park, and we ended up here because she wanted to be closer to her family.
Sure.
And I'm really glad I moved here. It's very unique, very.
It's a great town, yeah.
It's a great town. DC, the whole area is, actually Tacoma Park kind of reminds me of Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I went to high school.
Yeah, I've heard
So,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a it's a brain trust. There's a lot of smart people, talented people, and it's diverse. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, we're glad you're here, that's for sure. I mean, you have this litany of going to different musical towns, and I guess word would get out that you were in town and gigs would come around.
I moved here in the summer of 2017, and within a few months I was pretty busy.
Yeah.
See, because I had toured, and I wrote a song with Jill Scott on her second record, and then I was in the Dave Chappelle Block Party movie. So a lot of people knew me from that, and so when I moved to town, it was like it was pretty quick that I was getting work.
It's a great story.
Yeah, so I mean,
All right.
One more song.
Yeah, one more, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this. It's a Horace Silver, the piano player. He has a song called "Peace," which is kind of a timely song because we're all looking for peace of mind, peace of money, or whatever. Anyway, so this is "Peace."
What a wonderful piece to close on. Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Dave Manley, folks. Man, we got to get back to some of those stories at a later time.
Sure.
This is, thank you very much. And, man, it's wonderful stuff. A lot of classical influence in there, too. At least a lot of classical stylistic.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
approach.
play jazz on the nylon string, which it's
Yeah.
so humid right now. The instrument doesn't like it. It's fretting out, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it's sure.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you came, and or actually, we're glad we dropped in. All right. So speaking of dropping in, we're going to say hi to Elena.
Hey, what's
How
up,
you
everybody?
doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Great. I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
And
It's nice to see people.
yeah, right. It's nice to see
I've
anybody.
been in quarantine a little bit. I was feeling under the weather last week, and I took a test. I went to get tested, and it took until today to get the results back. So I'm
Yeah.
free. I'm free-ish. I was being very careful, but
So you tested negative, as
I
they
tested
say.
negative. So
Yeah.
now, I mean, I started feeling better at the beginning of the week. So I figured it was going to come back negative, but I didn't want to put anybody at risk. So anyway, here I am. I'm excited to.
I wish more people obviously would take that approach about not wanting to put other people at risk. But
Oh, most definitely. I'm taking it very seriously. It's one thing if I was to get sick, but it would be a whole other feeling if I gave it to someone else, especially if people
Yeah.
were at high risk. And, you just don't know who those are. I mean, a lot of young people have had conditions as well. So
yeah, that's when they find out that in
Right.
fact they had something else going on in their system.
it's just not
that-
worth it.
No.
Even if it means losing a little bit of money or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
fortunately, I'm in a position where I don't feel like the trade-off isn't as big. I know other people are not necessarily in that place. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's good to see you.
Yeah, yeah. It's the end of our political statement at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know why it's political, but whatever.
Of course it is. Dave Manley finished up with a song called Peace.
Yeah.
And you've always been politically active. I think that we
Absolutely.
marched together at a women's march a couple years ago.
Probably. I go to a lot of marches.
Yeah.
And people sometimes I just bring my guitar and not
Yeah.
knowing, if things are going to happen that way. I did a lot of stuff with the Muslim band marches, and that's where I actually had this opportunity to kind of lead some of the protesters. And there's this really cool video actually of it was crazy. It was like I had my guitar plugged into a little PA that someone was
it. Yes.
carrying,
Yes.
and then
Marching with you, yeah.
and then someone was holding the mic, and we were all walking together, but someone had to hold the mic. So it's like she would move
Sure.
her hand, and I would have to it's a struggle that few people understand, but it was cool. And actually, they're going to use it, I think, in a TV show. I just got asked about that, so that's nice. So
And
we'll see if it gets.
they'll send you tens of dollars.
Well, no, they paid me up front for
Oh, good.
licensing, so
All
yeah,
right.
it was good. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy amount of money, but it was a nice amount of money for right now. I was
And
like,
you
oh, it's
weren't-
perfect timing.
Right.
So-
You weren't doing it for the money. You were doing it
No,
for the,
absolutely
for
not.
the cause.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. No. Yeah. So, I mean, it's part of what inspires my work and what I love to do. It's the reason I moved to DC is because I wanted to work on social justice. I didn't really know what that looked like. I come from an immigrant family, and so I ended up working on immigration issues for a number of years, and all of that kind of fed into what my music eventually became.
And be able to mix it with your music. A lot of people have the intellectual side of what you just said, but
Right.
they can maybe write a blog, but they
Yeah.
can't reach a lot of people through music.
It didn't come naturally at first. My first bunch of songs are really about like love and relationships, like so many other people. And then I started writing a song. Maybe I should play that now that I'm sort of talking about it.
All right, let's segue right into it. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I wasn't going to play that one, but I'll play it now.
Yeah.
I was writing a song about, it was coming out kind of like with these chords that I felt were like kind of bittersweet, sort of feeling like disappointment in love. And I thought to myself, well, I'd really like to write more about topics that are important to me and in terms of justice. And so I wrote this song. I started writing it, and I thought it was going to be like another love song. And I was like, you know what? Can I think about another kind of love? And so I started thinking about like not romantic love, but like parent to child love. And I don't have any kids, but I do have parents, and I can't imagine being separated from them. And so I wrote this song because at the time, you know, I was working on immigration issues, and a lot of people thought I was an attorney and that I could help them with their particular cases. And I couldn't because the immigration system here, the immigration laws are broken and haven't been updated in a long time. And so I wrote this song from the perspective of an immigrant mother who comes to the U.S. in search of a better life for her son, but in doing so has to leave her son behind. It's called Amor Migrante. Let me make sure I'm on. There you go. Hey! Yo te amo de lejos, aunque no lo puedas sentir. Dejé el nombre en mi patria con tu adiós, qué triste sufrí. Quiero darte razones por mis grandes traiciones. Por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me vine aquí. ¡Hey! Con tristeza en el alma a frontera norte corrí. Ya creciste sin mamá y te harás gran hombre sin mí. De pedir tus perdones, por mis grandes traiciones. Por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me vine aquí. ¡Hey! Vámonos. No había más opciones. De sacarte de pobre. Por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me vine aquí, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, por ti me fui de ahí de ti, que lo sufrí estar lejos de ti, por ti me vine aquí. ¡Hey! ¡Huepa! I do that now when I play. I clap. I say yee for myself where it would have been claps.
Well, right now you're just playing to a computer, so but we're all right there with you.
It makes me feel a little more natural about ending a song. So
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. It's you seem like you're playing to an audience, which is hard to do when you're playing to your computer. So you're deeply involved in the song, and it's that's I think what what makes it successful. It's you don't seem distracted at all. So
Well, I mean, I
yeah,
think that there's an element, even when you're playing in front of audiences, that audiences want to see you like in the song, you know?
yeah,
And so that it's like I like having audiences mostly for like to feel like people are listening. And so that was really hard at the beginning, when we were doing these streams. But now it really helps. Like right now, thanks, Leslie. Leslie's clapping over
yeah,
there. Thank you. So that makes me like now I learned that one way to really counter that is to have the chat open so that you
yes,
can see people's reactions in real time, and it's not the same way. Thank you, Carol. It's not the same way in which you interact with the audience. It doesn't take the same form,
right.
but when you can read them as you go on, it really does help you feel like, oh, actually people are listening, and they're actually they have this opportunity to give you more feedback than just clapping. They can give you like, oh, I like this, or they like this aspect of your song. So you actually get a better idea of like
And
why
they might,
people,
yeah, they might say, "Oh, I liked it so much, I think I'll send you $50."
right? They
That
could.
happens. So always gets a laugh, rarely gets a $50. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, this is
Yeah, it's
it's true.
fun.
Some artists find the chat to be very distracting. They'll say, "I never look at it because I can't concentrate on both at the same time. They don't
Yeah.
merge the two." So
Yeah, I mean, you can choose when you look at it. Well,
yeah,
I like it personally. I just
that's
feel like
great.
if you're not gonna get that reaction in sound, the way we
Sure.
usually do on stage, that's kind of like the silver lining. I would love to figure out a way to actually like project them so that I can do it when we're doing with more than one person, because I found that
Yeah.
I live with my percussionist. I live in his house. He and his wife and son live upstairs, and so we do some duo shows. But when we do that, we have to stand further back, and I can't read them as they're
Right.
coming up. So between songs, we run up and see what's going on. But it can be a lot to manage. So this is nice. I found that like doing solo shows is pretty comfortable because you can get that
All
immediate
right.
feedback.
So what's next on our solo show?
What's next? I'm gonna do one of my more relationshipy songs. I'm gonna sing. I I have no idea who's on, but I'm guessing they're more English speakers than Spanish speakers. So I'm gonna do a song in English. This one's on my latest album, which is called Volcán. Oh, which I happen to have right here. Look, who knew? It's right there. And we recorded this in Tacoma Park, at Tonal Park. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This is kind of about like dating in, maybe it's not modern times, I don't know, but like people want to have, sometimes you kid yourself into believing that you can be in a casual arrangement with someone, and then you realize that you can't. And that's what this song is all about. It's called Small Confession. I've got a small confession. I'm not made for this. I know might be fun and games for us now, but I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. I wanted to be true to the deal that we'd struck up, we'd agreed on, but I still knew that I was weak. And you made it confused, spoke with your hands, spoke with your heart, muddled my thoughts. You missed me too, that much I know. 'Cause I've got a small confession. I'm not made for this. I know might be fun and games for us now, but I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. I tried to pretend that I could do what others do. Keep you apart, not get too deep, and keep my cool. And you wanted to be free to be free, free to say yes, free to move on. I should have known it in this way. 'Cause I've got a small confession. I'm not made for this. I know might be fun and games for us now, but I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. Will we ever see what we're meant to be? Or did this whole thing just run its course? Run its course. 'Cause I've got a small confession. I'm not made for this. I know might be fun and games for us now, but I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. Might be fun and games for us now, but I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this. I know I'm not made for this.
That's good.
Yay!
That's good. I'd say that song resonates with quite a few people.
Yeah, even if it's not current, I feel like a lot of people have been through that kind of situation. You know?
It's. I sort of feel like the partner in that song about a year later wrote a song called "The One That Got Away."
Yeah,
When-
maybe we'll see if he does that.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's a very universal theme and I like the way you kind of kept it bouncy, not like "woe is me," not drudgery, not "oh, I should have never done this." I mean, you kind of
Yeah,
made
well,
it a very universal theme.
it's kind of like one of those moments where you become empowered yourself about.
Yeah,
You're like, you know what? This isn't like a bad thing. No
Right.
one's doing anything wrong. It's just this isn't for me, you know, and or maybe it's not me. It's not for me with you. I mean, you know, it can
Yeah.
be all kinds of stuff, but it's. I have other ones that are more bitter, but this
oh, hold on.
I could go into that one. if
Yeah,
you want.
right. No,
No,
no.
but this in particular, this situation. It's funny. I wasn't gonna include it on my album. It was a song that I wrote right before we went in to record the album,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't gonna include it. And I had shown it to a couple of friends, just like informally, like, "Oh, I wrote this song. What do you think?" You know, and a number of them were like, "You know, I really think you should put this on the
Yeah.
album. I feel like it shows." It's something a lot of people can relate to, and it showcases kind of your songwriting in a different way. And so I'm really glad we did. And I love how it turned out in the album. It's very there's not a lot of instrumentation. It's kind
Right,
of
yeah, it's
bare.
sparse. Yeah.
It's pretty sparse. And then there's a beautiful solo part on piano by Cynthia Marie, who's an amazing. She's just so good at really being able to like weave herself into your song without taking over. You know, a lot of instrumentalists can be kind of all about like showing
Yeah.
off all of their their sparkliness, and
Sure.
she does it so well and so subtly, and her style really fits the song. So I'm really I feel really grateful that she was able to really bring that song to life. So
Well, yeah, it has a lesson, and yet there's no blaming or shaming in it. It's just this is what happened, and it's why we don't do it anymore.
yeah, totally.
It's cool.
It's good. I've actually played that in front of that dude, and then
Aha.
afterwards he was all like, "Oh, we should talk." It's like I wrote this song like 4 years ago. Like just because you finally
4 years
realized.
later, yeah. Right.
So
Well,
who knows?
so I have a question. Do you sing any songs, the same song in both Spanish and English?
No, I haven't done that yet.
I don't know if it ever gets done, but I just
It does. It does.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
Gloria Stefan did it all over the, all the time. Shakira
Yeah.
does it,
Okay.
So there is like a precedent for that. I haven't, I try to, everybody talks about authenticity, right? And I just feel like if it feels right, I haven't really mixed languages in one song either, which other people do, and
Yeah.
I would like to do it as well. I'm interested in that, but it just has to feel natural.
Right,
And
right.
what's cool is I find that when people do songs bilingually, sometimes they have multiple songwriters, and one of the songwriters is better in English, and the other one's better at Spanish, like in my genre particularly. And so that works out for them because they hear the same, they get the same energy from the song, but they express it the way that they express it is the way that they know how to express themselves best in their language. To
But I
me,
guess dealing
yeah.
with rhymes and syntax, that's another whole issue.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's songs. I don't know how everybody else's songwriting process is, but my songwriting process is that I get an idea, and usually the idea comes with some sort of cadence feel.
Okay.
And usually that cadence feel will have like an English cadence feel or a Spanish cadence feel. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes
Yeah.
it comes with songs with words already attached
Right.
to it. And sometimes those words are the beginning of the song. Sometimes those words are not the feeling that I want to go for, but I have a feeling with what's going on, and so I'll work on the lyrics for a long time to make sure that they're reflective of kind of the feeling of what that musical idea had, So, do you
Pretty
think I
cool.
should do a song in English or in Spanish next?
Let's see.
I'm going to end with one in Spanish. So,
Let's
I
do
was
an English.
thinking do
Yeah,
an
do
English.
an English
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Cool. That sounds great. So I am going to do, this is a song that I wrote. I bought this guitar at a bluegrass festival in a great state that I'm about to sing about. And this was the first song that I wrote. Let me mute this. That I wrote on this guitar. And the guitar's name is Carolina. And it's similar to the song's name. And to me, it's, I'm a bilingual songwriter. I grew up here in the States, between here and Managua, Nicaragua, which is where my parents are from. I moved back when I was about 8 years old. And so I grew up fully bilingual, fully bicultural, understanding both parts of myself. And so when I started songwriting, that's what came out. So this song is kind of I like to introduce it by saying that it shows that you can be both fully immigrant and fully American at the same time. I'm actually let me change something real quick. All right, I'm back. All right, here goes. Home. Oh, my mother always cared for Carolina. Said it always was a place she'd like to see. As I look to my reflection and her staring back at me, I know I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Oh, the wind it brushes softly on my window, and the rain it brings a drop right to my cheek. And it always gets so cold here, and that's why I gotta leave. because I'm going to Carolina, and that's where my heart is free. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Ooh, come with me. Ooh, come with me. Tambourine solo. So the time has come for me to make my way now. Hear her singing in the distance, soft and sweet. And I know I'm gonna miss you, so you should come with me. Because I'm going to Carolina, and that's where my heart is free. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Because I'm going to Carolina, and I hear her calling me. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Yay!
That's kind of a little bit of a nod to Neil Diamond, right?
Is it? I don't know.
I think so.
Everybody tells me different artists that have songs about Carolina, and
Yeah,
I
so-
honestly didn't know any of them when I wrote them.
Yeah.
There's the Carolina on My Mind, right?
Yeah.
That's not Neil. Is that Neil Diamond?
I thought it was.
James Taylor, yeah.
Yeah.
James Taylor's
Taylor
the
and
one
Neil
that
Diamond.
comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Different
I'm going to
people, Dave.
Carolina.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, people think it's a cover, which is kind of funny because it doesn't sound like Carolina on My Mind, but that's cool.
I think the word Carolina is just a nice fluid kind of word that, it fits nicely into it, say, than Wyoming or something. It's just,
Yeah, you never know. Wyoming could be really cool, man. we gotta get. I just have never been there, so it's hard to be inspired by
Yeah.
a place that I haven't been to yet. But maybe someday. Who knows?
Challenge.
Yeah, a challenge. That
All right.
goes to you guys too.
I'll
That's
do it.
right.
Let's do it.
there they are. All
Let's see what
right.
we
So
come
this
up
is Sassafras and Pepper, and that's Sassafras waving, and that's Pepper not waving. So you've done some stuff through School of Musical Traditions where you've done some workshops,
I have.
and I think that's what led me to, obviously to inviting you to do this, but the Grateful Dead stuff, that's cool. And now I'm realizing that you have a band called Dead to the Core.
Yeah, it's not quite like a normal band. What it is so.
Well, of course not.
Original music is kind of the main thing that we do, but Dead to the Core is sort of I call it a collective of songwriters and acoustic musicians who all have this shared love of Grateful Dead music, and it came out of actually shows that we did at Club Passim up in Boston on Jerry Garcia's birthday, and we had some amazing musicians who've come
Sure.
and played those shows, and so every year we got together a group to do this, and then this year we took on this name, Dead to the Core, and we actually had some great tour plans from starting in May for this year, which are obviously not happening. But we did manage in quarantine to get 10 people together to make a single and a video of the Dead's Touch of Grey, which actually just came out last week on the single part of it. And that was really fun. And we got people like Jefferson Hamer and Anna Nyack and Natalia Zuckerman and a whole bunch of really great musicians all
Ryan
recorded from
Fitzsimmons.
home. Ryan Fitzsimmons and Steve
Greg
Roy. and
Klima.
Greg Klima, yeah. So anyway, it's a really fun project. I love the music. I grew up some of the music that I grew up playing when I was learning guitar, learning to write songs. So it's just fun, and I also had a chance to meet because I'm the founding editor of Acoustic Guitar magazine, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
interviewed a whole huge long list of my favorite musicians in the world. But I did get to interview Jerry Garcia with David Grisman a few years before Jerry died, and I interviewed Bob Weir also, and so I had some firsthand interactions that are really great too.
Wow.
So very fun project, and I made a couple of DVDs for Homespun about Grateful Dead for acoustic guitar, a bunch of really fun projects.
Huh. That's that kind of sort of stopped me right there. It's like I didn't know the whole part about acoustic guitar. I'm sure it's in your blurb, but
Sure, yeah. That's 30 years ago.
Whew.
We started acoustic guitar. I was the editor for the first 10 years, from when the editorial staff was just me up to
Right.
we had around 40 people in the company, and and I'm still involved with acoustic guitar.
Sure.
I'm called editor at large these days.
Right.
So,
Well, great. Okay. Well, what are you going to start us off with?
well, by request to incorporate a little bit of Grateful Dead in here, we did just pass the 50th anniversary of the Working Man's Dead album. That was just earlier this month, I believe. And so I thought I'd do this song from Working Man's Dead. Please don't dominate the rap, Jack, if you got nothing new to say. If you please don't back up the track, this train's got to run today. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. I heard some say better run away, others say better stand still. Now I don't know, but I was told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. Other hand, I heard it said it's just as hard with the weight of lead. Who can deny, who can deny, it's not just a change in style. One step done and another begun, and I wonder how many miles we'll spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. Things went down that we don't understand, but I think in time we will. Now I don't know, but I was told in the heat of the sun, a man died of cold. Keep on running, oh stand and wait. The sun's so dark and the hour's so late. You can't overlook the lack, Jack, of any other highway to ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide us. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. I something's getting out of hand. Well, I guess they always will. I don't know, but I was told if a horse don't pull, you got to carry the load. I don't know whose back's not strong. Maybe find out before too long. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to give. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to give.
All right. All right. Woo! Yes,
That felt good.
that's important history.
Words, well,
Yep.
one way or another, this darkness got to give. Those are words we can use.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it looks like you were dancing or something. We were
Yeah, you know, I kind of get.
what's your what's your move? You know.
Well, I do a fair amount of blues dancing and a fair amount of swing. So I actually, you know, it's not much solo dancing, but partner dancing. And boy, do I miss that. We have a facility not far, you know, from Tacoma Park called Glen Echo. It's a state park, national park. And the Spanish Ballroom is an amazing room. It's built in 1933 and double sprung wood floor. Anyway, it's another whole story. So yeah, I miss the
Sorry.
dancing. Yeah, contra dancing, blues, swing, you know, whatever. Won't be doing that for a while.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? What do you got?
Well, so I don't know if we introduced ourselves purely by full name here. So Jeffrey Pepper Rogers and Wendy Sassafras Ramsey. She gets the quotes around Sassafras
Yes.
sometimes. Pepper is my actual middle name. It's Sassafras is her assumed middle name. But anyway, this is a song. We have a new. So I have a bunch of solo albums out under my name, Jeffrey Pepper Rogers, and we just put one out which features the full band, which is Wendy, and then we have a drummer and a percussionist, drummer, percussionist, and a bass player, sax player. And in the band, Wendy plays clarinet, flute, accordion, a bunch of instruments. And so we have this new album called Live and Listening, which we recorded live in a club here. We're in Syracuse, New York. And this is a song that's on it. And so this goes out in memory of our friend Jack Bacchino, who actually just passed away a couple months ago, right at the beginning of when quarantine was happening. And he was an amazing photographer, music supporter, friend to all of us around here. And he wrote a little poem about missing the days of writing letters. And I wrote this song with his poem as the first verse, and then I kind of continued the story and turned it into this song, which is called Write Again. I miss the days of writing letters on paper with a pen. seal it in an envelope, lick a stamp, and then walk it to the mailbox. Raise the flag, and when the mailman brings an answer, maybe I'll sit and write again. Write again, my friend. Maybe I'll sit and write again. When the mailman brings an answer, maybe I'll sit and write again. I miss the quiet contemplation, imagining you there, wishing and the waiting, questions in the air, and then the sweet delivery. When I recognize your hand, I read your letter slowly, and it brings you near again. Near again, my friend, it brings you near again. I read your letter slowly, and it brings you near. I miss the time to think it over and find the words to say, share with you the yearning that's in my heart today. With every line across the paper, I better understand. I feel that you are with me as I sit and write again. Write again, my friend, as I sit and write again. I feel that you are with me as I sit and write. Write again, my friend, as I sit and write again. I feel that you are with me as I sit and write.
Yeah, that's another one of those wonderful pastoral songs that is true. Writing letters is just, well, I'm trying to think of the last time I actually wrote one, but
Well,
Here-
because of that song, and because of the sentiment from friend Jack, I set out this year to write a letter every Sunday to somebody,
yeah,
and I've been pretty much keeping it up. Except for the only problem is now I can't ever remember what day is Sunday.
yeah. I touched on that earlier with Dave Manley. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is.
So my sister's watching us. So I just feel like I have to say, I love you,
Got-
Rebecca.
Got to do a shout out.
I do. She's in California, so speaking of time, she's 3 hours behind us. So
Well, she doesn't know what time it is. Maybe
and
she does.
She could be eating dinner right now, and we wouldn't even know it.
She could be sitting down and write a letter.
She could be. She's a really good writer. She's really a good writer.
Hey,
Huh.
look, licorice stick. Somebody mentioned that in the chat.
I mentioned it earlier.
I know you did. That's the second time tonight.
I know.
Second time tonight.
Okay. I'm like, oh, and Maria Gillard. I love you.
I think.
Maria Gillard is another great musician, singer-songwriter too. Check her music out.
Yeah, I think Pete Fountain was a great clarinet player, and I think he may have even had a song with the term, the word licorice stick in the song title. As a kid, that was like one of the first, quote, jazz albums that I listened to, Al Hirt and Pete Fountain.
You're very drawn to music with, or I'm drawn to anyway, music with woodwinds in them, and
Yeah.
Birds of Chicago. Is that?
Birds of Chicago uses
Yeah.
a clarinet. Yeah, it's a.
She's amazing.
I've totally fallen for the clarinet, and we try to we were incorporating it in more and more songs, and there's a good bit of it on this new live album, this live and listening album. And it's just a beautiful combination with the acoustic guitar. I feel
It is, yeah, it works. Wasn't there a duo around the Boston area for a while?
Oh yeah, Guy Van Duzer.
That's it,
Billy
and
Novick.
Billy Novick,
Billy
yeah.
Novick, yeah, those
We
guys
had them
were
in
amazing.
IMT.
They're fantastic.
And boy, when they walked in with a clarinet, everybody's like, "Wait, clarinet? That's not a folk instrument."
Yeah.
I was like, "Shut up! It's you just listen. You'll see." You know.
We were finalists in the best duo contest at the Fresh Grass Festival up in Massachusetts, and so bluegrass sort of festival, and
Yeah.
we came out with clarinet, and we had an arrangement of a Wayfaring Stranger with clarinet and guitar, and we were pretty sure we were going to be the only ones at the Bluegrass Festival with the clarinet, and we were right.
I
Yep.
feel like the next year there were many more, though. They were like, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. No.
You
So
gave them
secret
license.
Our
Yeah.
secret weapon.
Huh. All right. What's next on the hit parade?
Are you okay with another Dead song?
Well,
We're gonna do another good
okay,
song. We're
yeah.
going to do that later.
I was confused.
All right,
We are going
Which
to bring the
happens.
clarinet back
Sorry.
toward the end
Fake
here.
out.
Did want to do this one song, which is called Fly, and it was a grand prize winner of the John Lennon Songwriting Contest. But it actually originated in a traditional tune, Sally Gooden, which I play on the guitar, kind of in between verses on here. So this is a song that first put out a few albums ago, but it grew so much and with the band live that we wound up doing a new version of it on this live and listening album, one of the older tunes that we revisited there. It's mostly new material, but, so it's old and new too. Fly away, drop what you're doing. Gray skies will soon be blueing, no doubt. Mind pertaining, no reason for explaining. Been too long anticipating, fed up with contemplating. No more will I be waiting, 'cause we got stones on our shoulders and steps to climb. We're losing our breath in the crush of time. Gather the weight and the questions on your mind, and leave it all behind. Fly away.
Stop with the teasing. I got a bag of raisins. No way can I be going, no matter how it's blowing. Too much dealing.
Today I got a feeling this moment is for stealing, 'cause we got stones on our shoulders and steps to climb. We're losing our breath in the crush of time. Gather the weight and the worries on your mind, and leave it all behind. fly away, drop what you're doing. Gray skies will soon be blueing, no doubt. My entertaining, no reason for explaining, no doubting,
No reason,
no waiting,
no teasing,
no talking.
no secret.
Just spread your wings and fly.
Suddenly we're at a bluegrass festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diversity of music tonight has been really cool.
Yeah, that's been my idea for a lot of these, where I want to have three, let's call them acts, three shows that you probably wouldn't get at the same event normally. It would just be it wouldn't work in a concert setting, but it sure works in this type of setting. It's
Yeah, that's great.
and I hope people like that idea. I mean, it's obviously if they support your music individually, but the chances of someone knowing all three artists ahead of time is almost zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the evening, they do all know all three artists. It's almost like when you're watching something on YouTube and you have the automatic feed, and then something comes on that you had no clue, but somebody thought that would be a good thing to throw on your YouTube, and it's. But this is a little bit more controlled, I think.
Right, and you can wear pajama pants, and nobody would know.
You don't even have to wear pants.
You don't even.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I think if
yeah.
I wasn't, maybe.
Well,
Depends on where the line is drawn in your. camera.
literally the line is drawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
the cursor is cast.
So yeah, mixing it up is great. We love it.
All right. Well, so now you're on to your encore piece. This is your fourth.
Ah,
So-
we go straight into it.
Did we go straight? Yeah.
I think so, because otherwise it's a little bit awkward to take you off, and then two more songs from other people, you
That's
come
cool.
back.
That's cool.
But this is a Grateful Dead one because you gave it away.
We are going to do one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. This
This is
is
fun.
really fun, and we actually were supposed to be down in that area back
Yep.
earlier in June. We were going to play a couple shows, teach a workshop, do something at the little house concert at the school there.
Yep.
But it's good to be able to at least connect this way.
Well,
So,
Kristen, who was setting up that workshop, Kristen Jones,
yeah.
said, "Hey, they'd be good." I said, "You got that right." So,
Yeah, it's such a great, and we love coming down there, and the shop is
So
the school and the
cool.
shop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So cool.
Just watch out for Wendy hasn't played accordion tonight, but
I
if we're in
did.
a room full of accordions, it's kind of a dangerous.
When I posted the
situation.
live feed, I posted in the comments the link to where you can buy accordions.
ah, thank you, thank you. Well, we redid the accordion room a little bit because we noticed that some people were putting the accordions back on the shelves a little bit too hard, and they were banging the accordion into the wall behind the shelf and actually taking pieces of the wall out. So we now have carpeted the wall, so if somebody sets the accordion back a little on the hard side because it's like, oh, this thing's heavy, oh, I'll just kind of hoist it up here, they won't get damaged at this point. So we're looking out for our
Yeah.
accordions and our walls.
No, it's
That's
a
a
great
good idea.
It's a great place, and we have one of your Love Weird Instruments bumper stickers too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so this is there's a lot of Grateful Dead songs that I love, but this one holds a kind of a special place. Another one that, like that first arrangement, New Speedway Boogie, also on this was an EP called Dead to the Core, and also taught on these homespun videos, which are called Learn 7 Grateful Dead Classics for Acoustic Guitar. I did 2 volumes of it. Anyhow, this is Stella Blue with clarinet. It's too beautiful to be a little bit out of tune.
I think you're gonna have to tune to me.
Think it'd be all right?
All right. Let's open.
So forget you heard what we just did.
Unless you liked it.
All the years combined, they melt into a dream. A broken angel sings from a guitar. And there's just a song come crying up the night through all the broken dreams and vanished years. Stella Blue. Stella Blue. And all the cards are down. There's nothing left to see. There's just the pavement left and broken dreams. And there's still that song come crying like the wind down every lonely street that's ever been. Stella Blue. Stella Blue. I've stayed in every blue light cheap hotel. Can't win for trying. Dust off those rusty strings just one more time. Gonna make 'em shine, shine. It all rolls into one, and nothing comes for free. There's nothing you can hold for very long. When you hear that song was just a dream. Stella Blue. Stella Blue. Stella Blue. Stella Blue.
It seems like that's in about 80% of the Dead shows that I have listened to.
Oh.
And is there a backstory about that I'm just late to the party on? I mean, it's so completely different from everything they do in so many ways.
I confess I haven't really dug into the backstory of that, but it
Yeah.
certainly was some of the most transporting songs of theirs live. It's a special one for sure.
Yeah,
and
it's
not what people think of when they think
right.
of that band.
That's what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
it's. I contend that the way to stop road rage would to make sure that everybody had a subscription to Sirius XM, and that they listen to Grateful Dead when they're stuck in traffic. It's just an amazingly transforming sound that if people would do that, a lot less road rage. So
I'll have to, I don't have road rage, but I have mall rage a little bit, I have to confess. And so if I ever forced to go into a mall, I just can't take it. So
yeah,
I think maybe I
You'll
should just,
listen.
I
headset.
should
That's
listen to, like, but what's true is like when I'm in my car, part of the thing is if I'm stuck, I'm like, I'm turning on music and singing
Yeah.
and like might as well make the most of it. But when you're in a mall, it doesn't really work like
Malls are
this.
terrible.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
The worst.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
And-
thank you.
Thanks for having us.
This was great, and I'll say we'll do it again, but hopefully in front of live audiences.
Yes,
you know?
indeed.
But
It was
yeah,
great to meet Elena and hear Elena too.
Oh, and I love the Spanish. It's just,
Thanks. You're gonna get one more of those.
I
All
know,
right.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I think
so-
Spanish is the most beautiful sung language,
It is.
honestly.
It is so beautiful.
There are some advantages to it. I think writing songs it's actually a little bit easier to write lyrics in Spanish than it is in English. English, you just you get corny really easy, really fast. You know.
Fall into like cliches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with a show and tell, if that's okay, because you mentioned fresh grass and the fact that clarinet was the only clarinet that they saw that. But I go to festivals with a way crazier instrument, and since we're at my house, I figured I'd show it.
yeah. You don't have to lug it out anywhere.
I brought it over here. And this is the instrument that I play with a band that I tour with. It's called Flor de Toloache. It's a mariachi group. I'm going to have to stand kind of far away from the mic for you guys to see it.
We got a pretty good shot of it like that. Yeah, that's good.
Huge. So it's a bass instrument. Anyway, I just thought I'd show it to you guys because no one ever sees these.
Now, you're calling that a guitarrón?
Yeah, it's a guitarrón. And it's one of the traditional mariachi instruments.
I just heard a duo, two sisters, the Morales sisters, and they're
Okay.
great fiddlers and great singers. And they did a video similar to what we're doing. They're part of the Arhuli Foundation, and it's called Working at Home.
Okay.
The Morales sisters.
And do they have a guitarrón or?
No, it's two
okay.
fiddles. They're mariachi.
Oh, okay.
But it's two fiddles and vocals, and their dad, Juan Morales, is playing guitar, but he's not in the video. You just hear the guitar being played in the background, and the two girls, they're sitting in their living
Is
room.
he
And
the
it's-
Morales that makes guitarrones? Do you know? There is a family that makes like mariachi instruments, and they're very well
the
respected.
name of the city begins with a D.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no,
And there's a lot of Moraleses in the world, so
I know.
it's like Smith, so it could be anybody.
Yeah. Anyway, but I haven't heard Harmony singing like that. I mean, they're sisters. They're 2 years apart,
Oh yeah, sisters. I
and
wish
they've
I
been
had one.
and they've been obviously with Dad as the teacher. I mean, they've
Yeah.
obviously been playing these things since they were 5 years old, and remarkable. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a reason there are family bands. You know,
Yeah.
they know how to meld with each other. They
Yeah.
have that vibe. They understand each other with just a look. And I do. I wish I listen to. I often have a freak out moment. I don't have any sisters. I have brothers, and they're all very different from each other. But sometimes when I hear sisters and they sound the same, I freak out a little bit because I'm like, what? How do you sound the same?
yeah.
Anyway, I wish I had a sister so I could like sing with her and harmonize and stuff. But I'm
Well,
sure
just-
if I had a sister, I wouldn't get along with her, or
Eh.
some dumb thing like that would keep us from being able to do stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna play one last song for you guys. It's usually a sing along, and I wrote this during the election season. I did it based on the fact that I'm a woman, and part of the reason that I don't live in Nicaragua where my parents live is because I feel like I have more opportunities in the U.S. as a woman, and have a pretty strong personality, and I've gotten a lot of pushback in my life about that. I do think that if I was a man, they wouldn't feel quite as threatened by me, but it happens a lot. And so during the election season, I did feel like women were being treated unfairly, and that also led to it also connected with some of the other struggles, justice struggles that we've been going through recently and since the election. So this is a song that I wrote. I don't know why my mic is falling. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Called Ponle Fin. And usually I ask the audience to sing along. So if you guys are in your houses or wherever you want to do and you want to sing along with me, you go, the response is a eso. So I say, ponle fin, pon fin. You say, a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso, ponle fin, pon fin. And what we're saying is put an end to that. You're saying to that. And I'm saying put an end to that. I know Sassafras is singing. I can feel this. So join her and join me. And thanks. Enjoy this. And thanks for having me, guys. ¡Eso! Esta canción se la dedicamos a todos los que luchan por la justicia y la paz en este país, en nuestros países y en el mundo entero. A las mujeres les dice que sean buenas, que se ajusten, que se aguanten. A las mujeres les dice que sean lindas, que sean dulces, no se amarguen. A los hombres les dice que sean firmes, que sean duros, que maltraten. Yo no puedo aceptar esas cosas, yo no suelo conformarme. Here it comes, sing with me if you can. Y dice, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin. Como dice, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin. Hay personas que quieren decirte a quienes tú puedes amar. Y después te llaman pecadores por quererte bien casar. Inmigrantes viven con horror que los vengan a deportar. Y los negros de la policía que los suelen fácil matar. Vamos todos, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso todos juntos, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. No a el machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no te digo no. No a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no te digo no. Resiste, no a el machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no te digo no. Una más pues, no a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no a Donald Trump. Yay! Awesome.
And for those of you listening at home, as you know you are, that was not a recorded track. That was real cowbell played by Elena's real foot.
Yeah, my real foot. Thanks everybody for singing. I could see some people in the chat. That was very nice. Thanks so much for having me.
It was a pleasure. It was just great to keep the music alive,
Of
and
course,
great
and
to
to
get the
reconnect with
message out
everybody.
there.
Yeah, totally. Thank you
So-
guys.
All right, thank you. And now we'll move to our last artist of the evening. He's got his mood lighting on.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what are you going to play for our take us into that good night?
Since we've been kind of on a quasi-political track, I figured I'd close out with Paul McCartney's Blackbird, which
Oh.
I actually did not know until this year that he was inspired by two things. One was the call of a blackbird when he was visiting this particular city in India, but also it was more symbolic about the struggle for civil rights with African Americans in the South in the 60s.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, so that's what Blackbird is really about. So the broken wing whole thing, it's more symbolic of what
Of the
was going
struggle.
on.
Yeah. Huh.
And the struggle, what we're dealing with right now.
Huh.
So this is an interpretation. It's actually a pretty difficult song to play. So I will. I'll do my best to just. improvised. I mean, I know the form of the song, so try to do what a piano player would do.
Yeah, well, it was interesting your comment about it's actually a really difficult song to do, and I'm thinking of all the people that play it as a 3-chord song, 6 weeks into playing guitar. But
Yeah.
I'd say yes, yours was pretty improvised. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just playing over, it's just like, diatonic harmony.
That's fabulous. But
Anyway.
when you say, "Oh yeah, it's just diatonic harmony," a lot of the world has no clue what you're talking about.
I know.
So, that's why you're special, as is everybody else here. This was another fine evening. We hit them with lots of diversity, musically, politically, socially.
We needed a dog, though, so
I don't know if you can.
our dog is
Yeah, we can-
crashing, getting her
Oh,
nose
okay.
on there.
Nosy
Yeah.
nose. Yes.
Yeah.
I realize it's kind of dark in here, so.
It is. You were setting the mood.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been wonderful. We're going to move to a Tuesday night because we're noticing that the Fridays are getting really crowded. Like most of the world is doing things on Friday night as the country sort of opens up again. So they're not staying home as much. Whether they should or not is another story, but obviously there are plenty that aren't. So I think we're going to move to a Tuesday night.
Where is
And-
everybody located?
I'm in the basement.
I know.
I'm in the attic.
Yeah.
You guys are in New York State?
We're up in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, okay.
In the Greg Brady attic.
I'm in the place called Douglas Commonwealth.
Oh, me too.
Happy Douglas Commonwealth.
Let's
Uh-huh.
hope that happens.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
remember voting on the name for DC, and I didn't realize who won. But today I was like, oh, that's who won.
Gotta flip the Senate. The Senate has to be flipped before we
I don't
can
know.
change the name.
Hopefully that's coming. At least,
Yes.
I guess we can
I'd
make
like
it.
to have some senators. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
More women.
So Rob, we want Rob to make an appearance because he did another fine job. There he is.
Ah, there he is.
Yay!
Nice job, guys. Wonderful,
One-
wonderful show.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
man behind.
Thanks for dealing with us.
This was good. All right.
You guys are no trouble. I mean, what a wonderful group of people. You're just so stunning. Yeah.
It-
was
it
a pleasure
dialed
listening
in.
to y'all.
It dialed in.
Yeah.
Fun.
All right, Dave.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
That's
Good
it.
job,
Just-
everyone.
Yeah.
Let's say good night.
Everybody wave good night.
Good night.
See you down the road.
See you
Thank you
soon.
so
Sounds good.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having me.
Yes.
A
Thank you.
pleasure. Good
I'll
night,
see you
all.
tomorrow, Dave.
Good night.
Good idea. Okay.